The Oxford English Dictionary is the definitive record of the English language, not just a collection of definitions. It traces the development, meanings, and uses of each word. Because words change their meaning over time, it is important when we read historical documents to know what the writers and readers of the period would have understood the word to mean. The OED allows us to more rigorously and correctly interpret texts. It also allows us to understand how writers and speakers of the English language have shaped the meaning of words. Changes in definition can reveal the evolution of norms and power structures, the rise of particular kinds of social and scientific thought, and the appearance of technology, aesthetics, and ideas in particular times and geographies. You can access the OED through the library website. Find the website by using a search engine or by pointing your browser directly to www.library.upenn.edu. First, type Oxford English Dictionary into the Franklin search box at the top. Then, click on Connect to Resource for the entry for Oxford English Dictionary. Make sure you're viewing the result for the online resource, not the print editions in the catalog. Finally, sign in with your Penn key and password if prompted to do so. In this video, we are going to focus on simple, quick searching. However, the OED's advanced search allows users to narrow their results by subject, date, geography, and usage. Users can also search the quotations rather than the dictionary words themselves, so you could find all the places where Shakespeare's Hamlet is used as an example in the OED. If you are studying a particular text or author, this can allow you to find places where the author introduced new meanings, or where it is considered an exemplary use of the word. However, you should be aware that the creators of the dictionary were more familiar with famous authors like Shakespeare than with more ordinary language users. We cannot assume that because an author is listed as the first quotation, that he or she originated the meaning. The homepage of the OED also suggests some of the other ways of exploring the dictionary through categories, sources, timelines, and even as a thesaurus. Let's begin by typing a word into the quick search: ecstasy. You may see several entries in your search results. Homographs, words with the same spelling but different meanings, are treated as different entries. Major parts of speech, including verbs and nouns, are treated separately as well. Here, we see that ecstasy as a noun and ecstasy as a verb have separate results. Let's choose ecstasy as a noun. The first dictionary entry page you come to has the entry in outline form. It begins with pronunciations and includes numbered definitions of the word. You can find more information about a word by clicking Full Entry. The full entry includes etymological information, which tells you about the linguistic origins of the word, and quotations, which provide information about usage over time. Both of these features can help you understand the meaning of a word in the time and place that it was written. Here, we see that ecstasy derives from the Greek ekstasis, for insanity or bewilderment. We are also told how the word ecstasy shifted from religious experience to medical description. For most entries, there are multiple senses, or different meanings of the word. In the example of ecstasy, we can see that there are 5 different definitions. The first and earliest is the state of being beside oneself, thrown into a frenzy or stupor with anxiety, astonishment, fear, or passion. The fourth defines ecstasy as rapture, now chiefly intense or rapturous delight. Finally, the newest meaning, still in draft form in the dictionary, describes the hallucinogenic drug. We've identified several different meanings of the word ecstasy and look for quotations for each usage. The OED has another, more visual way to look at historical usage. On the right side of the entry, click on Entry Profile. The profile has a summary of information about the word, including the earliest known use, a timeline of entries, and, more importantly, a timeline of sense development. We can see when our different uses of the word came into being. Sense 1, the state of being beside oneself in anxiety, came into the language first. The fourth sense, being in rapture, didn't come until later in the 1500s. For some examples of the richness of the OED, have a look at the dictionary's Aspects of English section. This appendix offers expert writings on what the volume can tell us on the use of the English language across regions and over time, the groups and individuals who shape the language most profoundly, and how meanings continue to contract and expand. The OED can not only help us to understand words that are now obscure to us, but can also reveal that words we think we understand in fact had very different meanings historically. In this way, the Oxford English Dictionary shows us that much of human culture and history is embedded in miniature form in words.